Good morning and welcome to Faith on the Ground, folks, where we shine a light on all that God is doing through real people right now in real ministry. I'm your host, Ian Velasquez, and today, folks, we have DJ McGoy. He is the youth pastor at Mineral Springs Baptist Church, and man, I'm so excited to have you on here on the show this morning. If you will, just tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in ministry now, actually been in ministry about since I was about 20 years old. But I was called to Mineral Springs Baptist Church about 5 years ago. So I've been a student pastor for about 5 years. Absolutely love it. It's my favorite thing to do. I got a wife and a newborn that's about to turn 1 this week, actually.
Come on.
Pretty fun week and stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, come on. And so, man, 5 years, that's about, I think, about the same time me and you.
Yeah, I think it was about the same time.
That's crazy. Looking at that, you're at Mineral Springs and doing all these awesome things. But how did you just first feel called into ministry, man?
So it was kind of crazy. So I was actually, the way it worked out is when I was going to church, I got drugged to church just like we all did, when I was younger. Didn't really care for it and stuff. Didn't care for that scene because I was kind of a loner and stuff. And I got called, or my mom kind of made me go to church. And literally the next week they were going to church camp. And the pastor at the time, he was like, "Hey, we got an open spot. We want you to go with us." I'm like, "I don't know any of you guys, but yeah." My mom's like, "No, you're going because I'm going with you." I'm like, "Dang it!"
Oh, so, even better.
Thank you. And I got pulled there, and it was God because at church camp, of course, I think I was 14 years old. I gave my life to Christ, and I just had that awesome feeling that I feel loved. I felt so much, and I wanted to help others feel that too. Right. And so that was when I got the calling that, hey, this is what you're going to do. And it was so overwhelming because it was so much all at once. And God's like, hey, this is what you're going to do one day. Don't know how you're going to get there, but you got a road to get there. So, and that's just, I knew I had it early on. And since then, I was always in church, never missed a day. Was always hanging around student pastors and stuff because I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Come on, man. That's so cool, though. And I love how you said we were all dragged to church.
We were all
dragged, and I was like, come on, man. And no, it's awesome that you were called at camp, too. I think that's a really cool thing, just to be able to in that ministry as well. Well, and I know we talked earlier off this, but was it at a Fuge camp?
Yeah, it was at Fuge camp.
Okay, at Fuge camp.
Yeah, it was the perfect place to get me out of my comfort zone too, and away from everything that was just going on at the time, back home and stuff. And it was just like God's like, here, got you now. You're mine.
Yeah.
So it was awesome,
dude. That's so cool. I love it. And so coming off of that, so you get into ministry. You're working. So is Mineral Springs, is that your first like ministry position?
Let's say paid position.
Okay,
yeah. I've been in ministry. So as an assistant youth pastor, I've done some interim things before at some other churches. For a while, I was interim at a church where they were just looking for somebody. That was actually my wife's church at the time.
Okay, yeah.
And she was. They were looking for a student pastor. And so they just had me come in for a couple of months and do some things. Enjoyed it. Knew that that's what I still wanted to do. But I was actually a assistant pastor at the church that I grew up at for almost 8 years.
Sweet.
Loved it. And that's what learned a lot from him and my pastor when I had. So it was great. And that's what really pushed me and helped guide me to exactly where I'm at today to feel comfortable and feel the calling that I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it was great.
And so what was a moment, I guess, in your ministry or where you're at that just confirmed that? Confirmed that, man, this is right where God wants you.
This one's a lot of fun, actually, because it was the timing of how everything happened. And the timing of... So I was working a job, actually the same place with my dad for those 8 years that I was assistant student pastor at Community Baptist Church, if you listen. I was there, and I was working with my dad at the same company, and Worked there for 8 years and stuff. And I had this on my heart that for me to be able to get into the ministry that I wanted to do, I needed to leave there. I was very comfortable there, loved working there. And I left there to find a job where I can actually go to school, actually have opportunity to go to school. So I went and I worked at Children's Hospital for a whole year.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, and my wife happened to work there too as well. So we both worked there for a little while together, and so we rode to work and all that. Had a lot of fun. But I realized that I'm like, hey, this is also taking up way too much time for me to focus on what I wanted to do. Well, as I'm trying to figure out another job to do so I can focus on school and stuff, we saw, that there's a church in Mill Springs hiring. They were trying to find a student pastor. Well, it so happens that my wife knew the pastor of the church.
Yeah.
Jason Green was actually her student pastor when she was in church. And so it kind of worked out where put my application in, did all the everything. And they hired me. They said it felt right, and it felt right for me and my wife. Cause we kind of knew I had ties to RE Middle Springs. I had family that went there before. And so it just kind of all worked out perfectly, the timing of when everything happened and stuff. And God said, hey, this is where you're going to be, and you're going to be here till I say
yeah,
you're
absolutely.
not.
Come on.
And it was amazing timing how everything worked out, because my wife and I were struggling at times because I knew that what I was doing at the time wasn't what I was meant to do, wasn't where I was called to be. And it just worked out for both of us because, she's my rock, she's everything. So it was funny how everything molded together and worked. And his timing is so insane, man.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. And when you see that happen, man, it just gives you chills. It just, I know where I'm supposed to be, and this is right here. So,
dude, come on. I love it. And that's so cool. Like, when you finally get that confirmation of just like, okay, he's placed all these things in a position to make it work, and you get to that point, you get to that position, and you're just like, man, this is it.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. That's so good. And so your ministry right now, what would you say is just the heartbeat behind your ministry and your calling?
Oh yeah, this one's, I love this one. I'm glad this is my favorite one you had. So this one's funny because early on in my ministry here at this church, I didn't really do much with the schools. It was hard to kind of establish myself with the schools. And I realized I was like, this isn't what's supposed to be happening. And I realized that taking church to the students is more important than just say, hey, come to church,
That's good.
because it's so much harder for the students just to come to you. Cause they're involved in sports, school, and everything. So you can't give them an excuse if you take it to them.
Right.
So I think the heartbeat is taking church to the students, meeting them where they are, and not just waiting around for them to come to you.
Right.
Like, don't give them that option, that excuse.
That's so good.
Because, we all went to high school. We had that same excuse. Oh, I'm too busy. Can't do this. I can't do that. So my thing that I've really made it important is I take Jesus to them.
Yeah.
Because that's what Jesus did to us. He brought it to us. And I think that's the most important thing, and it seems to be working. The church is growing, and it's growing fast.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying being at Jemison High School, doing a little bit of everything. I coach multiple sports. I'm there 90% of the day now. So I absolutely love it, and I think that's the most important thing.
Dude, come on. What do you coach?
I actually coach O-line with Jemison High School, and I coach track and field. I'm in the field, shot put, discus, and javelin.
Let's go.
So we got some kids going to sectionals this week, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, that's so cool, dude. And I love what you said, being able to take Jesus to them or take church to them. And I think that's the biggest thing, is because like they are involved with everything under the sun, and it's so cool to be able to just take that step and just be like, hey, all right, I'm here. Let's do this. And I think what's so cool, because like, you get to just build those relationships.
Oh,
with them
yes.
in that way with a kid that's like on the O-line or in track. Just like, look, dude, I know this day's rough or whatever, but like they have that confidence and they know you and they build that relationship, dude. I love it. That's so cool. And I think that's one of those things that like all of us can do, just take Jesus to them, man. And so, all right, well, we're going to take a quick little break off of this segment, and then we will jump right back in our segment too, but we will be right back here after this.
Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you. whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
We are back here with Faith on the Ground with DJ McGoy, and we are just talking about all that God's doing in his life in ministry at Mineral Springs Baptist Church. But we're going to jump into our second segment of this show, and it's called Ministry in Motion. So, DJ, what is something in your ministry right now that you are just really excited about, that you are pumped about?
Oh man, it's kind of a two-parter because I'm really excited, but also really sad about it.
Yeah.
Is the main thing is that this graduating class that's graduating this year, I've had since I was there.
Yep.
And we got this is our largest graduating class we've had since I was there. We have about 16 kids graduating, and I'm really excited to see what they do. Going forward into the real world is what I say.
In the real world.
And I'm kind of scared about it because I love them so much, and I think them as my own.
Yes.
But I'm excited to see what they do because this group has been just so on fire lately, and wanting to share the word of God with just everybody, and they've done so good at just getting out of their comfort zone, doing things, even without me having to be there and facilitate things. They're just so good at leading, and I've really enjoyed watching them grow from little old nerdy seventh grader to what they are now, and it's been so fun, and I'm very excited to see where they go. But I'm also very sad because I love this group, man. They are so fun.
Man, no, I feel you on that one, and that's one of those especially when they're that young when you started out, and now it's just like, oh my gosh, they're old. Here we go.
They got facial hair now, man. Quit.
It's like, what is happening right now? Oh gosh, but it is always great because you get to just see these kids that you've been able to just pour into. Like, get ready to go out and just share this stuff with the world, you know. And I know you have got to be pumped. And that's one of those things, man. I think that's one of those, it's always like a happy, sad day when they go, it's just like, oh man, I love you guys. Y'all are grown, but then it's just like, oh, here we go. And it's not like, I don't know. It's not, I know we will never be on that level of like a parent like that, but we're still just like, man, we've been a part of their lives in this way.
It stings.
Oh man.
But it's also at the same time, so it's like mixed emotions.
Right.
Like,
and so just going off of this, can you just share a recent God moment that you've seen through your ministry?
It's funny because I actually have hundreds of them, but I'm going to share a couple of them.
Yeah.
One is one of our biggest things as youth pastors is sports, man, are all the time. And when they happen on Wednesdays, it's the worst, man.
Yeah.
It's the worst. And we actually have half of our praise team all play softball, baseball, something.
Oh,
and
wow.
they all happen to have sports on one Wednesday night. And so we were going to have no music whatsoever.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And, I play drums a little bit, I play bass and stuff, and I'm like, I don't have the best voice in the world, but I'm not a lead singer whatsoever. And I was just like, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to figure something out. Well, I happened to ask around, and I asked a couple of our young 7th grade girls who are very quiet, very shy and stuff, and we'd love to try leading and stuff. And they get up there, man, and they bring it. They brought it
on,
hard.
dude.
And I'm laying that, great voices. Was not
Yeah.
expecting it, because you're like stressing out, like, how are we going to do worship? How are we going
Right.
to do this? And it was one of those moments where you're like, my gosh, I'm set for the next few years,
Yeah.
like with worship, because they brought it, man. And what I loved about it is watching them worship so hard, not trying to be somebody else, but be themselves and get up there and worship. Because I'll tell you, I got a lot out of just them being up there worshiping. Seventh graders, not being afraid to get up in front of 30 or 40 of their peers,
Right.
and getting up there bringing the word, and it just it was one of those moments where it was like a stress relief,
Right.
and I felt so good, and it was just like it was God was in that moment, and He's like calming me through them, and it was so great, and it was one of those just little moments. And then also, what's cool is that I feel like this past year, I've noticed especially like the seniors that I was telling you about, is that the students are wanting more. They're wanting to grow more. They have a huge hunger for more. And what's great is they're not having to rely on me to facilitate things. They are actually starting their own Bible study groups within each other, their devotional groups with each other. And then they're branching out into the schools with kids, that go to other churches. And they're bringing each other in. They're meeting at each other's houses and stuff.
Wow.
And for not having to facilitate that and not have to push that on them, like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, and them doing it on their own.
Yeah.
Man, that's one of those things that just make me feel so
Yeah.
good.
I mean, you see them just actively growing in their faith in that way, man.
Yes.
Like to where it's like, no, like let's all just come together and let's just do this. Like let's have Bible study. And that's a lot, man. And it's so cool to see kids actively just say, you know what, we don't have to have, and that's not saying there's anything wrong with having like a youth pastor or youth leader. It's just like, no, let's just go do this.
Yeah, sometimes it's more rewarding when you see them just do it on their own than us saying like, hey, you should do this, you should do this.
Right.
And they just go out and do it
gosh.
because they're hungry for the Lord, man. It's just, that's the best feeling.
Dude,
I
and that's a
think.
blessing, man.
Yes.
Like I know for you as well too, just to be able to see that is huge.
Yes.
So
rewarding.
And no, man, I love that, and I love how you talked about your worship ministry too, or your youth ministry and worship, because that's something that's like I love. I'm passionate about. And I love how you said I can't sing, I can't do that. I'll play the drums and play a little bass. Yeah. I feel like that's like a requirement now for like a youth pastor. You have to be able to do one of these things, or it's all just gonna implode somehow. Nowadays at this point, but like. I think that's so cool because, like, you had students that were seventh graders straight up just say, I got this.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, man, it felt so good.
And I think that's a testament, too, to your older kids that you have, too, like, that are actively leading every Wednesday night to where they are making that impression on them, you know?
Yes.
Dude, that is so cool. And to where, like, they said, no, we got it, is awesome. And I think that's so cool just to be able to see, like, students just leading each other in that way too.
Absolutely.
And so going off of that, how have you just seen God move in an unexpected way lately?
Well, still with that, honestly. So when the kids decided that they would do it, because we have a group me with all the students,
Right.
And like I had no one. I mean, this is like maybe 2 hours before when they found out we had softball, baseball, and all that stuff. And I'm like, am I gonna have to figure out how to solo sing right now or something? Like,
freak out.
I was terrified.
Freak out mode.
And I just sent the message out and I said, hey, if you're willing to sing, because we can do kind of like karaoke style, we play music and just sing. I was like, please just show up. And I was expecting like maybe one or two to show up, but we had like 4 girls show up, and they're like, hey, we want to sing, we want to be up there and worship. And I'm like, okay, like I didn't know how it was gonna go, because they haven't done it.
Have you
before.
ever heard them sing before?
No, I haven't.
Even better.
And I was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna see how this rolls. This is God moment right here. I'm gonna see how this plays out. And we always say, what kind of songs y'all want to do? And they put them up there. And my wife, puts them in all the proposition and stuff. And she's like, do you know how this is gonna go or how they sing? I was like, I have no idea, but I'm just letting God take it, man. We're gonna just see where He takes it. And they start singing there. I'm like, all right, like this is incredible. Like they sounded so good. And like I said, what I love the most about it is like it was like they didn't care who was watching them. Because there's some embarrassing times, and sometimes you get those kids up there and you get all the giggles.
For sure.
I'm up on stage.
Right.
And they didn't have that. They just worshiped and they brought it. And it made me like one of those moments where you're like, even though I'm not their parent, but like it was like, oh my gosh, like I've known these kids since they were in the kids area in Awanas or what, and like just them doing this, stepping out of their comfort zone, man, it felt so good. And I'm not a crier whatsoever. I'm not like an emotional crier, but that moment I was like, dude, I could tear up right now. I felt so good about it, and Just them getting out of their comfort zone, doing it, and just expressing how much they love the Lord through voice and singing. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
So,
dude, come on. I love it. And so we're going to switch over into our third segment, just a little bit more personal and real questions. But what is a spiritual lesson that God's been teaching you here recently?
dude, this one's been over a year now. As we were growing up, in church and stuff, we were always taught that numbers was important.
Yeah.
Like you need to bring everybody in, they need to be in church. They need to do this, that.
Yeah.
And I grew up as that was what was important. And I've realized over this past year, I was focusing on numbers instead of quality. And I've realized that quality of the students over quantity is the most important thing. Numbers mean nothing compared to the character of the students.
That's good. Yeah.
And the students and their character and their walk with Christ is more important. So if I had 3 kids and they all knew who the Lord was, I see that as a win over having 80 kids and they all kind of know who Jesus is and stuff. And I've realized that's been the ultimate thing that God has put on my heart lately, that I just need to focus more on the quality over the students instead of the quantity of the students.
Absolutely.
And it's been awesome. It's been very great because I've spent more time with them outside, like going back at their school, meeting them where they are, and not just. I know this sounds kind of weird, but not just immediately shoving, oh, you need to be in church, you need to be in church. I build relationships with them first.
Yeah.
I try to be in their lives, know about them and stuff. And then, hey, do you go to church, or would you like to come visit us, or you are in church, because I'm not one. I know Jason never gets mad at me, my pastor, because I'm always a pusher. I just want you to be in church. You don't have to come to me. Just please tell me you're in church. Please tell me you're worshiping the Lord. You're learning, and you have a hunger for Him. That's what I want, and that's one of the things I push for, and that I've learned from God lately. That is really just Jesus sucker punched me in the face lately with it, and I love it. But man, that's what He's been teaching me a lot lately. So,
dude, I think that's so good, and I think. As well, like that can be something that's instilled, like the numbers thing, in a lot of people, especially when you start out at a church or something like that, because you kind of get, I don't know what the word is for it, but you're just like, okay, I see these other groups they're growing, they're doing all this other stuff. It's like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. And you can get so focused in on that it's just like, no, like we need to just be focusing on them, the ones that we have. Let's pour into the ones that we have and grow them and look at the content that we're giving them. And I love how you said that too.
It's like the ones outside the ministry, like to be able to see results, they see results in numbers.
Right.
We see it, when we're in the ministry, we see the results in the character of the student and the hunger that they have for the Lord.
Yeah.
And that's what's so hard, that the church wants to see results and people wants to see results instead of seeing the character of the student. And that's I could see it from their perspective and I could see it from mine. And that's what God has been teaching me, is that it's more about the student than it is anything. It's more about them, leading them to Christ than anything. And that's the thing that I've really enjoyed, but it has been so hard.
Right.
Because you want to see the results and you want people to see results, but that's not the way that God wants us to do it.
Right.
And it's been very hard, but very, very good what He's pointing me towards and knowing that, and that's what brought it to me, is that the quality of students is more important than the quantity.
Do you think that when you focus on the quality, and this is just a random question just as a student pastor, but like if you focus more on the quality of what you're giving, do you think that is harder than worrying about the numbers? Like, so like
Absolutely.
Because you were actively just like, no, we're going to make it, we're going to teach them these biblical principles and all these different things. And it's just like, no, but that takes a lot to do, because sometimes they don't want to hear what you have.
Absolutely.
They're like, man, I'm just here to play this game or do this. Like, and so it's like to be able to like draw that in, get them focused in on it, to be able to say, okay, look, this is who the Lord is.
I know it's been better for myself too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like focusing on that is like it's better for me, and I've got more of a hunger for Christ doing it that way, and instead of reaching out trying to bring everybody in. Because one thing I realize is that you won't get everybody. You won't get everybody to your church, and because other people flock to other areas, that suits them better. They have friends that go here. And that kind of because I had a friend that went to our church, and that's how I was kind of brought in. They went there, I want to go there.
That was me,
and I stayed because I fell in love with the Lord. So
dude, that's so good. That's so good. And so moving from the spiritual lesson, another one, what keeps you encouraged on the hard days?
Ooh, man, this is what I spend the most time on. Because I have two. Of course, I got to shout out my church family. They're very loving, very, very loving. And they always are encouraging me, reaching out. How can I do things?
Yeah.
How can I help you in your ministry? I have amazing parents in the ministry with me as well, helping. We do meals every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I have some. They all take turns cooking meals for 60 plus kids.
That's really cool.
Which is amazing. That just helps stress reliever on having to feed kids, and that brings them in too. Kids said there's a meal, they're like, yeah, I'm going.
And so you have like a group of parents like
Yes.
every Wednesday
night
to give some food.
they volunteer, and
That's
it's
awesome.
homemade meals, so it's always delicious.
Dude, yes, that's so good.
And then I've got to say this, because in ministry you can't do it alone. My wife Paige, she is my rock. She goes through the good days with me and the bad days with me, and she's always there, always encouraging me. And it's like just as well. Like, you can't do it without your wife.
No.
You can't. And there's days where I'll just have an absolutely terrible day, and I'll go home and she'll just get my mind off things, and she'll just talk to me, love on me. And so I could not do anything without her.
Yeah.
It would be hard to be in ministry at all whatsoever without someone like her that would be able to just be there, cry with you, rejoice with you, and everything.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
Come on, dude. And that's so cool. Like, it's great to have that person that you can just lean on, and those
Yes.
people to lean on through those times.
Absolutely.
And so we're gonna change it up just for some fun questions. What is a hobby that you are just really into right now?
Man, I got a lot of weird hobbies, but
We'll take those, dude.
One of them plays really hand in hand with youth ministry. Surprisingly, is I'm a huge gamer. I play
yeah.
a lot of games, online games and stuff, and I won't get into detail, but I've actually competed. Over.
Shoot.
Yeah, I've competed
Let's
in big events and stuff. Overwatch and all that. I've competed
Yeah.
in all that. What's
Absolutely.
luckily is that the students love playing video games too, so I play with them a lot.
I was about to say, that's the best part.
I'll play with them. I'll roast them and stuff, and I'll whoop them like, you just lost to a 33-year-old. How's that feel? Like,
In your face.
And I love doing that. And it's one of those things. Is like, it's my hobby, but I can also use it to kind of reach out to students and stuff.
Absolutely. I wish I had better internet, or I would be doing this. Oh my gosh, they're always like, "Are you gonna jump on Fortnite? Do you play Fortnite, or do you play blah 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 blah?" And I'm like, I would actually love to do this if my internet was better.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
100%.
competed like in some pretty up there things. Yeah, you could label me as a semi-pro, because I will not label myself as a pro.
Casually,
yeah.
I'm just a semi-pro.
But
you know?
it's something I've done ever since I was younger. Just love it. It kind of gets me out of a headspace where I need to
Absolutely,
be, and kind of get out of everything. And every time I come back, from playing a game or something, or playing with the students and stuff, I feel re-energized. Honestly, so it's the best hobby to have.
Dude, we're such millennials.
I know, right?
It's just like, bro, it's like, of course we want a game that calms us down and keeps us chill, like chills us out for that.
I know there's some seniors pastors out there judging me so hard.
How,
They're like, what
how
is this
could,
kid doing?
How could you be doing that? That's a terrible way to bring them to the Lord. Gosh, no, that's great.
Meet
I
them
love
where
it.
they are, man.
Meet them where they are, right there in the middle of a gunfight
Yep.
on Overwatch. Dude, I love it. That's so cool. So is it just gaming, or you got anything else? Or you said you
I
had
love
some
being
weird
at the
ones.
school. I love being at the school, really.
Yeah.
Coaching, I consider that a hobby because I don't get paid to do it.
Right.
I don't
Oh, yeah,
get
no.
paid. I'm strictly just there to be around the students. And the other one, I got to shout out my son, Kanan. He's 1 year old. I consider him a hobby, man. He's so fun.
Just being a dad, man.
Dude, it's the biggest joy of my life, because we got this playpen, this big playpen I ordered off Amazon, because he loves to roll around. He can't quite crawl yet, but he rolls around.
Right.
And yesterday alone, I just realized I laid in that playpen with him playing for like an hour, and it took me an hour to get up. Like, I was
Oh,
so
gosh.
stiff and stuff. I consider that a hobby.
You're just like, oh boy.
Gosh, it's so fun, and that's one of my favorite things to do, is being a dad right now.
Yeah,
so.
dude. Oh man, I love it. That's so good. And I feel like it's so funny. A lot of folks that I have on here, it's just like, what is a hobby? I'm a parent. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, there you go. Yeah, I understand.
People
There
think in ministry too, you can't really have hobbies because you don't have time. No, you got time. You got to have something that
for your
kind of
100%.
to be able to make it through some days. You got to have something that can help you. Like, those are the days that just help a lot, when I just sit in a room and just game and have fun with the kids and
Yeah.
play with my son. Like, those are the days that make everything better. So.
Absolutely, dude. And this is another good one. As always, favorite is, if you could sit down with any biblical figure besides Jesus, who would it be and why?
This one was like one of the hardest questions that I had, and because I have like 15 of them that I could have said, and I had to go with my favorite person in the Bible, and it's Stephen.
Okay, yeah.
Stephen, because he was a man that was just full of faith. He and the Holy Spirit. He recognized. He was also one of the first Christian martyrs in the Bible.
Yes.
Which I thought was awesome. But he also was just a man that was unapologetic follower of Christ.
Yeah.
He didn't care what people thought about him, didn't care what people said about him.
Yeah.
And as he's about to be stoned, he still declared that Lord is the Lord, and it's just incredible to me. And I wish that if I'm put in that circumstance that I can genuinely do the same thing he did, but
Yeah.
I don't know because I've never been put in that thing. But just how awesome he is and his story is just, to me, is incredible.
Yeah.
And I want to live like Stephen every day.
Come on.
And that, to me, that was the best one. There's like 15 others that I would have loved to have put down, but Stephen has always been my favorite. He was the first person in the Bible that I ever learned about when I was younger. And he will forever be my favorite. So
Come on, dude. No, that's a great one. I don't even think we've had Stephen before. I think that's a new one.
Heck yeah.
And I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. And so going off of that to the next one, what would you say is your go-to worship song right now?
Dude. Okay, if I'm going to be in the now with everything, I got to say Gratitude by Brandon
always.
Lake. But honestly, anything by Phil Wickham or Josiah Queen.
Dude, yes.
Anything. I love them so much.
They're so good right now.
Like, I could turn on and I'll just put it on one of their stations on Spotify. I'll just listen to them all day.
And just
like,
go.
Yes, just let it go.
It's
And-
crazy how fast Josiah Queen just blew up.
Dude, yes. And Dusty Bibles is one of my favorite.
Yes.
I love that. And our kids upstairs in our worship room, they actually are doing it. And man, when they do it, I'm just like, I can't play drums because I'll go insane. Like, I'll just
go
I have to
nuts.
set it down. I have to get out and worship because I'm
Right.
like, I'll just go insane playing. But I'm not a good drummer whatsoever. But gosh, I love anything from any of those guys. They're just amazing.
Absolutely. And I heard you say Gratitude.
Yes.
Dude, Gratitude is probably my favorite song
Oh, yeah.
ever. And I remember when I helped with like the youth worship team
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. I play guitar and stuff with them. And I think the first time we did this, I was like, guys, I just love this song. And I had like a really old man moment. And I sounded like my dad when I said this. I was just like, I want y'all to play this at my funeral. I was like, this is great. And they're like, who are you? Like, how old are you? You're only 30 something right now. What the heck?
Right.
And so I was just like, okay, my bad. But still, like I love it. It's one of my favorite
See,
ones.
if I were to go old school, man, there's a lot of stuff. And what's funny is that we went to Winter Jam, this past time, and they had a lot of, like, Chris Tomlin was there and stuff.
Right.
And a lot of kids like didn't know any song, and I'm like, how do you not know Chris Tomlin?
That's so true.
And like me and all the other adults that brought him, like, we're just jamming. Kids are
Yes.
just like, what is this? I'm like, how do you not know?
Oh,
Like,
dude.
the man of worship music, right?
It's so weird, right? Like I remember. So did y'all go to Strength to Stand this
Yes,
year?
yes,
Did y'all
yes.
go to January or December?
We went to December or
Okay.
January. No, we went January.
Okay,
Yeah.
so CeCe Winan being there.
Yes.
Everybody's like, yeah. All the
Yeah.
adults are like, yeah. No, like maybe two of my kids knew who
That was
CeCe
just
Winan
like
was. And I
us.
was just like, how do y'all not know who? Which honestly, I didn't know much about other than like a handful of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, my goodness, like we're just old now.
I know, it feels so bad.
And it's crazy, like all these new folks that they hopefully listen to. It's so cool just to kind of see all that. Which you grew up, okay, so you were in youth probably like 2009, 2012
Yeah.
time frame. That time frame, what would you say yours? Because we're literally the same age right now, and so
Yeah.
I'm anxious to hear.
Honestly, it was probably Chris Tomlin because
Still Chris.
everything he put out, man, it was awesome.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I knew every word to every song. Like, just everything he put out was amazing. So I have to say Chris Tomlin. If I'm going to say true worship, like,
Right.
I want to get with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's Chris Tomlin.
Okay, another one. My wife brought this up last night. We were sitting there and we were talking about how I Thank God is like the song where like everyone, like I think we even have like a little dance to it. Like our
Yeah.
VBS ended up doing something, so now our youth do something to it when
Yeah,
we do it. So now I was like, I Thank God is our generation's Oh Happy Day.
Yeah.
Like one, you remember that song? So you're just like, like doing that thing, dude. We had that talk last night, and I was just like, that's it.
Did you do
That is
that?
like, do the handmade,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I was just like, If you don't know this is like prime millennial youth group
Yes.
worship songs. but I'll just never. She mentioned that last night, and so I was like, I wonder if you know this one. But yeah,
Oh, I love that one.
But all right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we will be right back here after this with our fourth segment, just looking ahead and what ministry looks like moving forward. But we'll be right back here after this.
Chilton Mobile Home Parts and Supply is your go-to destination for top quality mobile home parts and supplies in Clanton, Alabama. Conveniently located at 14023 County Road 29, just 3 miles east of Thorsby. We offer a diverse inventory, including underpinning, doors, windows, faucets, tubs, setup supplies, and more. Our commitment to quality ensures you'll find the best solutions for your mobile home needs. Upgrade your space with stylish doors and windows. Enhance functionality with top-notch faucets and tubs. All conveniently available in one place. Visit us today or call 205-646-1949. Transform your mobile home with Chilton, where quality meets convenience. Need reliable towing or diesel repair? Mems Wrecker and Heavy Duty Diesel Repair has you covered. We specialize in light and heavy duty towing and recovery with the latest equipment for any job, from campers and tractor trailers to winch box recoveries, and the only local-based rotator in the county. We do it all. Our diesel repair services include computer diagnostics, engine rebuilds, transmission and clutch work, and general maintenance. Trust Mems Wrecker and Heavy Duty Diesel Repair for top-notch service. Call us at 205-217-1984.
All right, we are back with Faith on the Ground. Our last segment, just looking ahead. But DJ, what are you just currently praying for in your ministry right now?
Dude, this one's so hard because I pray for literally everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if I got to base it on one particular thing, it's that we don't become stagnant. And what I mean by that is that we don't come too comfortable in where we're at.
Yeah.
And just accept, oh, I'm a Christ follower. That's it. No, I want us to keep wanting more, to keep being hungry, and to not remain stagnant, but grow with each other.
Yeah.
There's something I see passing in church all the time is build a bigger table. That's what I want us to do. I want us to build a bigger table and grow with each other and continue to have hunger on the good days and bad all the time. And that's my thing that I pray for on the daily basis for not only the students, but for myself as well.
Yeah.
Because, we get burned out as youth pastors pretty easily.
Yeah.
So if I remain hungry, I feel like they'll remain hungry.
That's good.
So,
Absolutely, dude. And I think that's one of those things, like, just stay after it,
Yes.
Continue reading his word. Continue just to see how we can just do things differently. And I feel like that's one thing, like, it's not really getting stagnant, but it's more of just like, I feel like I have learned something every single
Yes.
day of doing this job of just like, you know what, this isn't working the same way.
Yes.
Let's pivot. Let's go this direction, see how it works. And it's been really cool just to be able to move in that way. And so going off that as well, what is a dream that you have for this next season of your ministry?
That we continue to do more for one, and don't feel like we're done. Because there's days, that we'll do something, especially as student pastors, where we'll feel like rewarded that we finished something that we did good,
Yeah.
and we'll go, we pat ourselves on the back, but not just, okay, let me go 6 months, did this, I'm good, but continue to put in the work.
Yeah.
Continue to drive. Because there's lots of times, it's very tiring. Ministry is extremely tiring, mentally more than physically.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've realized that for myself is that I have to realize that it's not done. It's not finished. And the work, there's still plenty of work to be done. There's still always something else and something more to do, because what happens is that when that one group of kids graduates, you got another group coming right in, and the work's not done. Jesus finished the work when he hung on the cross for us, but our work here is not done.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell myself every day is that we got to continue. We got to keep going.
Absolutely, dude. No, I love it. And so going off that, what is something that you would tell yourself first starting out in ministry?
Ooh, man, this one was very good. Is, if I can go back to day one, I'd be like, remember why you're doing this. Remember that, when you were 14 years old, that feeling that you had when you first found Christ, and
Yeah.
when he first just opened your eyes to him, and the feeling of just this crazy flood of love and all that, the feeling that I experienced then, that I want the other students to feel that as well.
Yeah.
And I want them to go through the same experience that I did of finding Christ, because man, there's nothing like it. There's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing like it. And it's just an utterly amazing feeling. And that's what I remember is like, hey, on the good days, and you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, but remember why you're doing what you're
Yeah.
doing. Remember that there's going to be bad days. Remember there's going to be great days. Remember there's going to be days that feel like you haven't done anything. But the most important thing is that you share the love of Christ that I was able to receive with others.
Yeah.
And if
That's
I
so
can remember I tell that to myself every day. That's the thing I wake up praying about, and that's the thing I pray about going to bed. Is
on.
that my job will never be done. I will always be. If I'm tired, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
If I'm mentally drained, I'm doing good. It's when I get too comfortable, that's when I know I'm not doing good enough. And
Right, right.
I need to change something. But that's something I would tell myself, is to keep pushing forward.
Dude, come on. I love it. And so lastly, how can just the community just be praying for you personally and for your ministry?
So personally, please pray for my son Canaan. He has minor medical issues. He's adopted. We adopted him this time last year, actually.
Yeah.
Just he's on feeding tube and stuff. Nothing super major.
Yeah.
But just pray for him. He turns 1 this week. On Friday. So very, very excited about that. So pray for him that he's just healthy, because he is a healthy baby.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's so much fun to be around. And just pray for him. And ministry wise, pray that the students continue to be challenged, and that I continue to challenge them.
Yeah.
And because one thing I've realized is that what are we if we're not challenged?
Yeah.
That what are we to strive for if we're not challenged? For us to be in a place that we need to be, we have to constantly be challenged.
Yeah.
We don't need to be comfortable. We don't need to think that we're done. We've accepted Christ, we're done, because the work's not done. There's so much more to do. There's so much more people to reach.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is we just want to remain hungry for the Lord.
That's so good, dude. Absolutely. And that's something we'll definitely be praying for. But man, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. It's been fun. It's been great just to kind of hear your personal life on gaming and everything else like that, and just your heart behind your ministry, man. Dude. I love it. It's so cool. But no, man, thank you for coming on. I told him this when I walked in. I was like, we're repping the Clanton and Jemison stuff right now. I was like, hey, come on. But no, man, thank you so much for just coming on the show and just letting us just get to know you just a little bit better. And so thank you guys for tuning in this morning on Faith on the Ground. We will be back next Tuesday at 10:30. You can check us out on Piper Peach Radio, Piper Peach Gospel on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So if you get a chance, please go check them out. Go check us out, like it, subscribe to it, all that fun stuff that influencers say and all that good stuff. But no, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.